and a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You could go to them for sales and service by going to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. And of course, you can always check them out at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. That's GreatLakesHondaCity.com. So make sure you do that today. Appreciate y'all for being here up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. Cannot thank you enough for being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day. We are in the Christmas and holiday season, and of course, we are continuing on in the world of the NFL and fantasy football. This is probably your championship week for fantasy football. If you're playing in a fantasy football league, this is probably the week where you are celebrating the opportunity to play for a championship. To everybody who's gotten there, congratulations on getting to your championship round. I hope you win it this week, and I'm going to do my best to help you get to that point. Can't promise anything, right? It's not foolproof, but I can say that we'll give you the best advice that we can here on the show on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And of course, this fantasy football power hour proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. The Wildcat Sports Pub is there for you on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. We implore you to go there and watch all of the games and celebrate everything that you enjoy when it comes to watching football and so much more. Awesome food, awesome people, awesome atmosphere, and awesome leadership from Danny Tome. So head to the Wildcat Sports Pub 7 days a week on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. I got to thank the incredible graphics of @TripNFL on X, the former Twitter. They put up these amazing graphics, and I utilize them because it's a very awesome way and just a beautiful just showing of the entire schedule every single week. So I want to thank Trip NFL for making it easier for me to show you the matchups, and I just have a lot of respect and appreciation for their graphics. So make sure you follow @Trip NFL on X, the former Twitter. That's @TRIP NFL. Let's jump right into it. NFL Week 17 of the 2025-26 season here inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We have Christmas Day games that are going on here, folks. Now, Christmas Day, and it's crazy because we have Thursday night football, but we also have Christmas Day games that are happening here. We have two of them, and then we also have Christmas is on a Thursday because we're here with you on Christmas Eve on December 24th. So there's actually three games. So it's kind of like they turned Christmas into Thanksgiving here. We're going to go with the first game here. And speaking of Christmas and Thanksgiving being the same, you have the Cowboys and the Lions playing on Thanksgiving, and the Cowboys and the Lions playing on Christmas Day. However, the Cowboys and the Lions are going on the road, and that's fair, because if they had two holiday games and they got to play at home for both of those, that wouldn't really be that fair out there. So let's start with the Cowboys at the Commanders, and as we take a look at the NFL standings right now, the Commanders are out of this thing. The Cowboys have also been eliminated from playoff contention. The crazy thing is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not been eliminated, but they're below a team in the Minnesota Vikings who have been eliminated. So I don't know if I've ever seen that before, where an eliminated team is above a team who's not eliminated and they have the same record. But that's because Carolina and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, they're both in a situation where they don't have to have a winning record necessarily to win their division, which is insane because that division of the NFC South, typically not a strong division when it comes to record. And then you look at the NFC West, where you got three teams that arguably have a record good enough to be at the top of the entire NFC or close to it. So there's something to be said about from division to division. Let's go to the Cowboys and Commanders game, though. Let's start things off. If you have a question, send it in to any one of our channels. We're happy to answer your questions here. And, of course, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is live to you worldwide, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com. podcast@podbean.com. So if you have a question, then make sure you send it in to us so that we can see it and I can answer those instantaneously as they come in. So let's get into that game in the NFC East. It's no longer a game with a team that's still alive in the postseason. Both of these teams are eliminated, but it is a rivalry game, playing for those bragging rights as you step forward. In this matchup, I mean, we look at a limited practice for Javonte Williams with a neck injury, so I'd probably temper my expectations. Phil Maffa, by the way, who I covered and interviewed when he was at Clemson, happy to see that he's with the Cowboys. He could be returning this week from a shoulder injury. Could be a perfect week for him to return if Javonte Williams is out. But worth the play for you, I'd say CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson, especially because they're playing against a very hazardous Washington Commanders team. On the other side of it, I mean, Josh Johnson looks like he's going to be the quarterback this week with Marcus Mariota on the injury report, and God bless to everybody that's on the injury report. Hopefully they get well and stay well, and anybody who has anything bothering them, including those of you watching and listening, I pray to the Almighty God that you will heal and heal completely and for good, that we all will, that you'll handle well whatever comes your way, and no matter what, you'll heal through God. So, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. If I was going to play anybody of the Commanders, I'd tell you to play Terry McLaurin, but that's really where it stops for me with the Commanders. Let's go to the next Christmas Day game. That's going to take us to the Lions at the Vikings. The Lions are trying to stay alive in the postseason hunt. The Vikings are out of it. The Lions are just outside of it, but they're behind a team in their division. So, the Packers are 9-5-1. The Lions are 8-7. They're in a dangerous road with 2 weeks to go here. They're going to have to win and then hope that they get some help inside of their division and hope that the team in front of them, that being the Green Bay Packers, they have to hope that that team loses. The Chicago Bears have been having themselves an awesome season, and as I've told you week in and week out, my prognostication of this season is that we were going to see a trending upward of Caleb Williams. I said he would have the opposite of a sophomore slump, and he's done exactly that. So shout out to Caleb Williams and the crew, as well as that Chicago defense and all the work that they've done, offense, defense, and special teams. You don't get to a place where you're leading the division by accident, so congratulations to them for the work that they have put forward so far. And as we take a look at that, I'll say that, to me, the Minnesota Vikings, listen, J.J. McCarthy staying healthy, that's a big, important piece, right? And he was not healthy last year as a rookie, so it was like this year was kind of, in essence, his rookie season. He came out strong. I was feeling good about him in fantasy football and hoping that things were going to work out in his favor, and then we see him go down, and he's been up and down and around the corner here, and it's been really tough to see because obviously you need to have him be healthy for this team to progress forward, and you hope that he can do that, because as he steps into year 3 after this season, the Minnesota Vikings might have a tough decision to make of like, okay, well, we drafted this guy, but we need him to stay healthy in order for this team to move forward. So we'll see what happens from there. But in this matchup, Jared Goff, I'm going to call him a mid-range quarterback one. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. There's an illness for David Montgomery. God willing, he'll be okay to play. I'm on Ross St. Brown. He's got a knee injury. Hopefully he'll be able to play. So I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I like Jameson Williams in this game. I like Jared Goff as a mid-range QB1. If Amon-Ra and Montgomery are able to go, I'd look to put them out there as well. And then, as far as I'm not sold on the running back room of the Minnesota Vikings pretty much all season. I do like Aaron Jones, but haven't been sold on consistency. There's 2 ankle injuries, Jones and Mason. They're both on the report. J.J. McCarthy is on the report. He's out for this week, could return next week. I don't know why they would with the last game of the season. And then Max Brosmer could be the starter, or John Walford. So if you want to put Justin Jefferson out there, TJ Hawkinson's also on the injury report. I'll call Justin Jefferson a wide receiver 2, not because of his talent, but simply because who the heck's going to throw to him? And that's a big thing. Let's go to the nightly game that we have here, the Thursday night football game that was going to be here on Thursday night with or without Christmas. And so we have Denver at Kansas City, 2 teams in totally different places. I've been high on Denver ever since they drafted Bobo Nix, And so, Denver's in a place right now where if they were to lose, if they were to trip up, then the Jacksonville Jaguars could overtake first place in the entire AFC because they just beat the Broncos on the road head-to-head by multiple scores. So there's something to be said about that. But as we take a look at this and we move forward here for this, the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to the postseason. The Broncos are no matter what going into the postseason. So let's go to the Broncos first. In this matchup, I'm going to say Bo Nix. I'm going to call him a mid-range QB1. RJ Harvey, I'm going to call him a flex. I like Cortland Sutton as a 1. I like Troy Franklin as a 2 in this game. On the other side of it for Kansas City, Chris Oladokun looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback. Gardner Minshew is also injured with a knee injury. And then Shane Buechele, who I covered in college, he's on the team as well. I would say there's really nobody I feel good about with Kansas City, but if I had to make a choice, I guess I would tell you to maybe look at playing Isaiah Pacheco or Kareem Hunt as a flex position player just to have somebody out there. I'm hoping that you don't need your Chiefs to help you win this thing because I don't feel good about any of these Chiefs, and that's kind of where I stand with all of this. I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about the Chiefs. I guess I would potentially look to their running game with them having quarterbacks out, their number 1 quarterback and their number 2 quarterback both out. So that's what the Christmas Day games look like. Then we have Saturday games. So not only do we have 3 games on Christmas Day, but we also have 2 games on Saturday. So make sure that your lineups are set tonight so you don't mess it up and not have it ready for tomorrow. You don't want to wake up on Christmas morning and have to do all this work. So that's why I'm helping you here before we get into it on the eve of these games and on the eve of Christmas. Let's go in to the Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Chargers. Both of these teams, playoff teams. And in this matchup, CJ Stroud, I'm going to call him a low-end 1, high-end, probably a quarterback too. I like Nico Collins in the game. And then Jawar Jordan Jr. and Woody Marks. I like Jawar Jordan as a nice flex out, especially in a deep league, but really I like Nico Collins in this game and some stuff. And I do like CJ Stroud as kind of I'm going to call him a low range 1, high end 2. I like Justin Herbert in the game. He's playing at home, so I do like him as a QB1. I like Ladd McConkey and Aronde Gadsden the second. Quentin Johnston, low end 2, high end 3. In a deep league, a 2, hopefully a 3 for you. Omarion Hampton, I'd look to potentially put him out there, but I temper my expectations. I'd probably call him a running back 2, maybe a running back 3 this week. Let's go to the next game here. The Baltimore Ravens are trying to stay alive. The Green Bay Packers are trying to stay ahead of the Lions. So as we look at the matchup that is here, the Baltimore Ravens currently are in 9th place in the AFC, and the Packers are in the 7th and final spot of the NFC side of things for the playoffs. So this game is going to have huge implications, could knock out the Ravens, could affect the positioning of the Packers. So Lamar Jackson has been injured this year, and he has a back injury now. He's questionable for the game. So I like Derrick Henry in the game. And if Tyler Huntley, who's back on the team, if he's able to go, we know he can run the offense. So I'd still call Mark Andrews a mid-range tight end 1. I still like Zay Flowers in the game, and I like Derrick Henry. On the other side of it for Green Bay, Jordan Love is on the injury report, and so is Malik Willis. So I don't know who the heck is going to be throwing the ball. Josh Jacobs is on the injury report. So I'd probably stay away from the Packers this week. Hopefully Jordan Love comes out of concussion protocol and is able to go, or Malik Willis can play with that shoulder injury. God willing, they'll be able to go. This feels like the New York Jets of old, and is their punter going to have to come out for the Packers like Tom Tupa did for the Jets so many years ago, and I believe through 2 touchdown passes. Let's take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll have Seattle at Carolina. 2 potential playoff teams here. Carolina, some good things happening. Seattle, we know that they're already in. We'll take a step aside inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Liverpool, New York, great cars, great people, great lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but It's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily? And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Happy to be here with you, and thank you so much for being a part of the show Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time and beyond. We're going into the Seahawks at Panthers game. And like I said, Seahawks very much in the playoffs. The Panthers are trying to stay playoff relevant. They just had a matchup with the Bucs, and they will have another matchup with the Bucs after this week. So it's kind of funny how things end up working out, where two teams that are fighting for the opportunity to get into the playoffs through winning their division are going up against each other twice in the last 3 weeks. It always makes for some awesome storylines. So let's get into Seattle. I would say Kenneth Walker the third, definitely. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think Rashid Shaheed, I'm going to have him as a 2. Cooper Kupp is a run at wide receiver 2. Zach Charbonnet, I'm going to call him a 3 just because of consistency. But yeah, I like Kenneth Walker the third. And then on Carolina's side, Rico Dowdle, I call him a running back 2. And then I like Teteroa McMillan as your 2 pieces there. If you have a question, make sure you send it in to us. Always happy to answer your questions here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. 2 teams that are not going to the playoffs. Arizona going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cardinals at Bengals. Let's go to the Cardinals first, with them being the road team here. Taking a look at the Cardinals, I don't feel great about anybody, to be completely honest with you, about this Arizona Cardinals team. They are second to last in all of the NFC. Their record is 3-12. They won their first 2 games. Then they won a game on the road at the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, which used to be a divisional matchup in the NFC East when the NFC East had 5 teams. Since then, they have lost 7 games in a row. They just lost to the Falcons 26-19. The Falcons actually have a little come up here now with a record of 6-9 and staying alive here the division. Somebody's going to figure out this division and move it forward here, but that's not the Atlanta Falcons. But I will say that the Atlanta Falcons are not too far off from where this division is at, which is kind of unique here to say that, because you would think the way the season's been going that they fell off a long time ago, but they're still alive. Michael Wilson's been getting involved. Trey McBride a little bit here with Jacoby Brissett. Michael Carter has been the guy carrying the ball, and Marvin Harrison Jr. continues to be underutilized. This is why I didn't want Marvin Harrison Jr. to be the guy that was out there for them, because I just had a concern that this is how it was going to be. That's why I didn't want Arizona to draft him, because I didn't feel like they utilized a top wide receiver in, the best of ways. I didn't think they were a good place to go for a guy who, is potentially a top tier number one wide receiver, but it hasn't worked out. It kind of has been what I thought it was going to be, which is sad, but I hope Arizona can figure it out moving forward for Marvin Harrison and for everybody out there, because I know this team obviously doesn't like losing. I don't feel good about anybody with Arizona. Maybe Michael Carter if you got to go deep into this thing. On the other side of it, Joe Burrow's back, so you could look at playing Joe Burrow in this game. I like Jamar Chase. I like T. Higgins. Mike Gesicki, I'll call him a mid-range tight end one. Well, with the matchup, could be even higher here. So I'll call him a higher end tight end one this week. And then I like Chase Brown. I mean, obviously Chase Brown's done some good things. I don't have to tell you that, but I will. Let's go to a divisional matchup. The Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to stay ahead of the Baltimore Ravens, and they get to play the Cleveland Browns. Will the Browns play spoiler? The Cleveland Browns have not had one quarterback under center for the entire season in a very long time, and as I told you a couple seasons ago, I believe they're the first team ever in NFL history that I can remember that had 5 different starting quarterbacks in a season where they made the postseason. They're not going to be making the postseason this year. They have the same record as Arizona does at 3-12. I'm going to call Aaron Rodgers a mid-range QB1 in this. I do like his matchup, and DK he's suspended until the wild card weekend. Kelvin Austin has a hamstring injury. So that means Adam Thielen and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, as well as Scotty Miller, might be the guys he goes through, or he might go to the Muth. So I like Pat Freiermuth in the game. I like Jalen Warren in this game, and Aaron Rodgers, I'll call him a mid-range. If you have to go deep and you got to go to the waiver wire or free agency, maybe an Adam Thielen or a Marquez Valdez-Scantling is worth picking up to try and help you with a few points to get over the threshold to win your fantasy football championship. Then we have the Jaguars at the Colts. This is a big-time game. This is huge. The Jaguars have gotten better with time. They were the best team in takeaways in the country. Then they dipped a little bit defensively, and now they've risen back up again. In the battle of the best defenses, arguably, in the nation of the 32 NFL franchises, the Jaguars won that game on the road by multiple scores over the Denver Broncos. Now they have an 8-7 Colts. They're 11-4. They're in good footing here. I like Trevor Lawrence in the game as a mid-range quarterback 1. I like Travis Etienne in this matchup. Brian Thomas Jr., I'm going to call him a wide receiver 3. Jacoby Myers is good for the PPR, so I do like Jacoby as a 2. And I'm going to call, I might stay away from Brenton Strange this way. I'm going to call him a mid to low range tight end 1. On the Colts side of it, I like Jonathan Taylor. And Phillip Rivers has been getting the ball out, but looking at Tyler Warren, so maybe I'll call Tyler Warren a low-end 1, high-end 2 at tight end. Now let's move forward to the next game here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins going with Quinn Ewers, and that's a joke to my older brother Joey. He knows what that's all about. So, but Quinn Ewers, I covered him in college, covered him in the college football playoff. I actually made a note that I believed at some point this season we may see him out there, and he absolutely is out there now as Tua has been benched. Tua is the 3rd quarterback, not even the 2nd on this Miami team. So how did Quinn Ewers, how did he do in this one? Let's take a look at it. I'm not making fun of him. It's a joke about something that Papa Joe and Joey both do. But let's take a look at the Dolphins. They lost 45-21 at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. And going back to that game, Ewers, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 20 of 30 though, 260 yards. Achane still doing his thing. Jalen Wright, Malik Washington all had rushing touchdowns. Jalen Waddle led the way. Waddle while you work. So let's go to Tampa Bay first, or the road team, then we'll get into what I'm thinking here. Sean Tucker continues to do his thing. I love it. So I'm going to say Bucky Irving. I like him in this game. I also like Sean Tucker as a flex. Baker Mayfield, I like him on the road in this matchup as a QB1. I'll call him a mid to maybe a little bit over mid-range QB1. I like Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin. Hard to keep any of those guys off the field now that they're all healthy, and you'd like to see them make a playoff run, although I do really like Carolina as well this season. I like Devon Achane in the matchup, and I like Jalen Waddle while you work. Jalen Wright might be a good flex for you. He had a late-game touchdown, so you could look at that, but I think Achane's been the set it and keep it, set it and forget it, right? So for the Miami Dolphins. Let's go to the Patriots at the Jets. The New England Patriots and the Jets are in two totally different places. The Patriots feel like they didn't even miss a beat of these last couple seasons without Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, the way that they're playing now with Mike Vrabel and Drake May. I like Drake May in this game. I'm going to temper it, though. I'm going to call it mid to low. The Jets also got rid of a bunch of their defensive players, so I do like Drake May in this game. I'm going to call him a mid-range QB1. Travion Henderson's got a concussion. God willing, he'll be able to go. If not, you could look at Dearness Johnson, former Jaguar, or Ramondre Stevenson. I'd say Ramondre is a running back 2 if Travion doesn't go. If Travion goes, I got him as a running back 1. I like Stephon Diggs and maybe a Matt Collins to flex out, but I like Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry probably the best. And if Travion Henderson's healthy, I like Travion above all of them to be put out there. On the other side of it, Breece Hall, I'd probably tell you, might haul in a few things, pun fully intended. Outside of that, I don't really feel good about any of the Jets. Let's go to New Orleans at Tennessee. These two teams have been terrible this season, and they may be in search of a quarterback already as they step forward. We know New Orleans drafted Tyler Shuck, but are they going to stay with Tyler Shuck? And we know that the number 1 overall pick for the Titans was Cam Ward, but are they going to stay with Cam Ward? Is this something where they just need to get the right coach in place, or is this something where they need to move on from Cam Ward already? So Kamara is injured. Audric Esteem could be the guy out there for you. If we look back at Tyler Shuck and what he's done so far, most recently, the team is 5-10. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They won at the Bucs, they beat the Bucs and the Panthers back-to-back in division. The two teams that are fighting to win the division have lost to the Saints. That is saying something about how the Saints have been performing under Shuck, and they just beat the Jets by 23 points at home, 29-6. So as we look at Shuck, so it's not like they're beating, the Jets are a bad team, but beating 2 potential playoff teams, that's been good. I like Chris Olave in the game. I like Jawan Johnson. They're both getting heavily involved. Taysom Hill might be a good flex out for you since he's running the ball and receiving the ball. So those are the guys that I would tell you, but definitely Chris Olave and Jawan Johnson. On the other side of it for Tennessee, I don't feel good about anybody on this team right now. So, as we look at the Tennessee Titans and where they currently stand, they're also 3-12. They've won 2 of their last 3. They just defeated the Chiefs 26-9, almost the exact same score of the game that I just told you about with New Orleans here. So New Orleans winning their game, and now the Titans, so they're both coming off of victories. The Titans won that game at home over Kansas City, who had a backup quarterback out there. But Tony Pollard got over 100 yards. Tajay Spears got into the end zone running the ball. He also had 5 catches out of the backfield. Alec Iomanner, who Cam Ward seems to like. So, in this game against New Orleans, if you have Iomanner, you might want to put him out as a flex. And then Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears, I both call them running back 2s, but hopefully you're not leaning on them to win your championship. It could be a favorable matchup, though, because I don't necessarily trust New Orleans defense. Now let's take a look at the Giants at the Raiders. Shout out to the Boom. So let's go to the Giants first, and then we'll go to the Raiders. For the New York Football Giants, on their side of it, Jackson Dart is playing. He could be worth the play in this game since he's playing a Raiders team that's quite terrible. Tyrone Tracy Jr., I like him. I like Wendell Robinson, and I like Theo Johnson. On the other side of it, for the Raiders, who I think may be in search of a quarterback as well this coming off season, Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers are your 2 best bets. I like Bowers over Genty. Genty hasn't been able to really run the ball that well. This team hasn't done a good job at moving the ball offensively, so I'll call Genty a 2. I still like Brock Bowers as a 1. I just temper it a little bit. Philadelphia at the Buffalo Bills. Let's go to the Philadelphia Eagles first, then we'll go to the Buffalo Bills. And I would say to the Philadelphia Eagles, please don't throw any snowballs at Santa Claus again. That's pretty embarrassing. I like Jalen Hurts in the game. I like Saquon Barkley, as well as A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. On the Buffalo Bills side, Josh Allen is on the injury report. He has a foot injury. If he's able to go, then I would put him out there. I like James Cook. I like Dalton Kincaid. And I would say outside of that, Khalil Shakir, if you have to go to a flex position, but I'm not relying on Shakir to save my season. Let's take our final step aside here on Wake Up Call. We'll be back here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios to wrap up the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, the home of watching all the games on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. NFL Week 17 of the 2025-26 season, and for a lot of you, your championship week.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout delivery and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. It is the day before Christmas. Get yourself out there today. Get those gifts, those stocking stuffers that they will love. If you've never collected a card before, go and do it now and know what it's like to be a big kid. I just got to celebrate with my godson and make plenty of memories with him on site at GG Cards and Breaks. You can watch that special on YouTube.com and Facebook.com. Both /WakeUpCallDT and on Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT, as well as on X at CallDT. So experience what it's like to go to GG Cards and Breaks, the place where you make memories, get to be a big kid, and get to build your friendships, which I've gotten to do there, and I love it so very much. GG Cards and Breaks, so much more than a sports card shop. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Big time thanks to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Bridge Street, and Erie Boulevard. Go out and see them right now. You don't want to miss out on your opportunity because Christmas time, they're going to be closing early out there, so make sure you go and see Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. For all of you doing your last-minute shopping, a lot of you on Erie Boulevard, you can find that Chick-fil-A right there waiting for you on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard, led by Megan Sorber and her team. Get a peppermint chip shake today and get yourself in the Christmas and holiday spirit. With that being said, let's jump to our last two games. We got Chi-Town going up against San Francisco on the road. It's going to be a big-time game, awesome game. I'm very much looking forward to this one. This Sunday night football game is going to be an incredible, incredible matchup. Let's go to Chicago first, with them being the road team. So let's go. Caleb Williams on the road at San Francisco. I don't know if I'd put him out here in this game. I like DeAndre Swift. I like DJ Moore as a wide receiver too. I like Colston Loveland. If Roma Dunze is able to go, then he's worth putting out there. And he has a foot injury right now. God willing, he'll be okay. Olamide Zaccheaus might be the guy to put in a flex position to try and win this thing and get a few extra points. Brock Purdy at home. I like it. I'm going to call him a mid-range quarterback one. Christian McCaffrey, Juwan Jennings, worth the play. George Kittle, if he's able to go with his ankle injury, I'd look at putting him out there as a mid-range tight end one. If not, then Luke Farrell could be the person in that place. Final game that we have here brings us to Monday Night Football for the Bam Rams Slam-a-Jam. I already said Ram. I can't say the Bam Slam Jam-a-Ram Bam 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 Rams, however you want to say it. Listen, it's the day before Christmas. I'm excited. So the Rams at the Falcons. Let's go to the Rams here. The Atlanta Falcons, like I said, they've come on late, man. If they did this a little bit earlier, they might be a playoff team, believe it or not, because the team that's leading their division, 8 wins. How many do the Falcons have with 2 weeks to go? 6. The Los Angeles Rams, I like Matty Stafford on Monday Night Football. I'm going to call him a mid-range quarterback one, maybe a little bit above that. I like Kyron Williams. I like Puka Nacua, as well as if Devontae Adams is able to go. He has a hamstring injury, so just monitor that. But I do like Puka. On the other side of it, for Atlanta, I like Bijan Robinson. He's somebody that I look at putting out there. And, you know, Tyler Algier, he's been utilized more, so hopefully maybe that'll happen. I like Kyle Pitts Sr. I like Bijan Robinson. I like a little flex out of Tyler Algier. And Drake London's healthy, but they are playing the Rams, so make sure you monitor that. And I would look at potentially playing the Rams defense and special teams. With that being said, this has been your Christmas and holiday edition of the Fantasy Football Power Hour. Thank you so much for tuning in. Proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. And, of course, we are inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. YouTube.com, Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube. Find us by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Many thanks to our wonderful partners. Go and visit them today. Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel, DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Myers Creek, Chick-fil-A, Cicero, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Brian's Landing, Monpause, the snack capital of the world. Perfect for stocking stuffers. Get over there today, 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Mother's Cupboard, Pizza Man, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A, DeWitt, Game Point Sports Complex, Bryan's Landing, Avocoles, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Onondaga Community College Lasers, Bryan and Strand College Bobcats of Syracuse, and the Binghamton University Bearcats. Find them all on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. For the Lasers, find our OCC playlist. For the Bobcats, find our BSC Syracuse playlist. And for the Bearcats, find our Binghamton playlist. They're all on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information on the Lasers, go to onondagalazers.com. On your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And on the Bearcats, go to binghamtonbearcats.com. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks to Paul. Thanks to Dan Villari, Paul Clark. Thanks to all of you. Merry Christmas. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. And a early Happy New Year. Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay safe. Stay well. God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk with you soon. This is Wake Up Call. I'm Dan Tortora, and you are a blessing given to this world from God. Don't you forget that. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Take care and stay safe.